Hey guys, today I've got two more figures in the Team Fortress 2 collection from NECA. Now if you remember, and you can check the videos here, I did videos for the unboxing of the Heavy and Soldier, and also the Demo Man and the Pyro. Now, as we noticed, the quality control for these figures has been slowly decreasing, and I was not super happy with the video I had done for the Heavy and the Soldier. So hopefully this time these figures will be better. I just got them in. Let's try the Spy first, shall we? Okay, so we've got the Spy here. He's got all his usual accessories. The sapper looks like a hand, and his knife, and his gun. Now, what the okay, so there, let me zoom in on this for you guys. Now, I don't know if it will read correctly with this camera, but I'm looking at an extremely pink Spy face, and that's really awful looking. It's a little muted on the camera, but in real life, he has a very reddish pink face, which makes no fucking sense to me, considering that, you know, in the game he has a very normal skin tone. I'm not sure why the hell they did that, but it looks terrible. Anyway, let's open this one up and see, you know, what he can do. Alright, so as I have mentioned before, the back always has a description of the character, a little picture. As I also mentioned, it comes with an in-game collectible item. Usually, I think the previous ones were genuine versions of existing hats. So I guess, yay. I have a million hats at this point though, so it's not a big thing for me. Alright. Okay, so the Spy. First of all, interesting thing is that the flaps of his coat are a very soft fabric. It's not hard. For some reason, there is a bump in his shirt. I guess maybe if that's where you wanted to stick the gun, like as if he was taking out the gun from his jacket pocket. Now he's got a bit of a derpy face. I mean, I guess technically it's the Spy, and you'll always know that that's the Spy, but I'm not sure why he's looking down, and why he can't just look forward. It's a little strange when you see him as a, you know, as a full product, but whatever. Anyway, so this whole midsection is the soft fabric, or the soft plastic rather. Once again, NECA has the stiffest fucking joints in the business, because just twisting his arm makes you feel like you're going to break it. I'm trying to just bend this arm normally, and it kind of doesn't want to do it. I don't want to break the Spy just right out of the package, but there you go. I can not really seem to get this left hand to bend properly. Amazing. This one seems to be okay after some massaging. He's got some decent rotation in his feet, which is good. The important thing to test here that they've kind of fucked up with in the past is the torso joint. Now with the other figures, we got a wide range of capabilities with bending these legs upwards. Now what's interesting with the Spy is that I guess they've kind of learned a little bit. You can do a decent amount of rotation here, and then this plastic, just like this flap of jacket here, is a soft plastic. So it actually enables him to move his thigh up higher than you would think. Because the other figures all had this as a hard plastic, so you couldn't get a decent reach with this leg. But with the Spy, you can. His head has a decent range of movement. You can move it however you like, which is interesting because some of the other characters don't have that loose of a head rotation, so I guess that's okay. Let's look at his little props now. He has an extra hand here that's a fist, My assumption is that it's probably for his knife, perhaps? He's got his electro sapper. Pretty well made. This is extremely delicate, so I could totally imagine it snapping or ripping off of the rest of the sapper, because it already seems like it's very loose, so that's not great, but what are you gonna do? Overall, the detail for the sapper is good. The knife seems maybe not quite as straight as it could be. This, again, is almost the same material as the coat. It's really bendy plastic. Why you'd want to make the knife super bendy plastic is beyond me. I would think you'd want this to be a little stiffer so that it retains its shape better, but whatever. Finally, the gun. And now, the way they package it, the gun is probably going to be by default almost bent like this, which is awful. So you'll probably want to try to gently coerce it to straightening out if possible. Other than that, like I said, just like with the knife, it's stupidly bendy for some reason. I'm not sure why. One quick thing before I get to the engineer. I just noticed this as I was putting down the figure. So I got the arm to bend properly, but what I had to do was twist it all the way around. So by default, in the packaging, it has the wrong rotation of the arm like this. I don't know why, but that's how it is in the packaging. So of course if you try to bend it, it's like trying to bend somebody's elbow the other way. Of course it's not going to work. So how would I know that you're supposed to rotate it the completely wrong, appearingly wrong way, just to get it so that it can bend? That is very poor packaging on NECA's part. I'm not sure why they did that. But now on to the engineer. Okay, the engineer. Now, there's already something wrong with this one. Now if you look at the engineer, in the game and in this picture, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, but it's not really like a beard. But of course with this figure, they couldn't really seem to manage that or something, because now it just kind of looks like he's Grandpa Engie or something, like he's just got a full beard. This does not look like a 5 o'clock shadow to me. This looks like he just has actual full-grown facial hair, so that's a little weird. I almost would have rather that they would have just, I don't know, tinted the existing skin tone a little bit different instead of doing an entirely different color. But I guess I can't, you know, beggars can't be choosers with that, I suppose. Everything else looks okay. I will say he's kind of a bit more weirdly darkish red than his normal red tone. I'm not sure why. I mean, again, it's kind of the tendency to have inconsistent colors with these NECA figures, but at least his face isn't red. I can't say that for Spy, so I guess that's a bonus for Engineer. Anyway, he comes with his wrench, and he comes with his small pistol. Looks like he also comes with his toolbox. It doesn't look like he comes with his shotgun though, so I guess we just have to take those three. So let's open him up and see what he's got. You can do it. There you go. Okay. So first of all, he's got some decent likeness to his in-game version. A little backwards cap. What's a little weird is that they chose to do a paint outline for his pocket here instead of giving some semblance of like a physical pocket, which is a little cheap of them, especially considering that they did the overall clasps and stuff here. This little pouches, and he's got this weird cable that is probably gonna snap right off if I'm not careful. Just little knee guards. Get some, again, one thing that they do seem to do right in these figures is they have a decent rotation for their ankles, which is always appreciated. Now unfortunately for Engineer, he's not quite as well endowed with his legs as the Spy is. He does have a bit of a soft flap of plastic where his thigh muscle or thigh would rotate, but you really gotta push it to make him raise his leg, and then that looks a little odd. This two-joint bend kind of reminds me of the Play Arts Kai snake figure that I reviewed kind of a long time ago, but that's okay. It still affords him a decent bend for the most part, so that's alright. Now let's check his arms. The spy, since he had a full coat, could barely turn his torso. The engineer, however, has a specific rotation along his little muffin top here on his waist, so that's kind of good. Wow. he can turn all the way around, which is probably not necessary, but I guess I'm appreciative that you could do that. One other thing I wanted to check was the rotation of his neck. Let's see if it matches the spy's capability. He could do decently well. I think, oh, fuck. Okay, so his head is awfully loose in his socket for some reason. Another quality control thing, perhaps. But when it's not popping out of its socket, it looks like he's got a decent rotation. Now, granted, it's not like the spy's where his neck seems to be separate from the head, which was nice. This one, it's totally one piece, as you could see when it popped off. So that will affect your rotation of his head, probably. His arm as well is potentially unbendable. I wonder if it's the same situation. I'm going to rotate the arm again. Nope. Now this time, wow, that is retarded. Okay, so he's got this hard plastic sleeve here, which by itself is fine. And he's got what appears to be technically a bendable wrist, but I swear to God, it feels like I'm going to break it just trying to do this. Like, there's a hinge. You see the hinge right here, which looks like paint is already coming off of it with me attempting to bend it, which barely bends. But the thing that's annoying the crap out of me right now is this has a hinge here for bending. And, oh my God, I have to almost break it just to get him to bend that little. So don't expect to do any crazy, like, oh, resting my hands behind my head kind of thing, like casual pose or something, because you're not going to get it with this figure, unfortunately. I'm assuming the same case can be said for his gloved arm. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, NECA, you seriously have to reevaluate how you do arms. The leg is great, the fucking arm is god-awful. Can I take his... That's weird. Can I take his... Oh no, I can't. I thought I could take this glove off, but actually it's a full hand. So if I take this off, it's just going to pop off his whole hand. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm actually kind of mad about that I can't bend his arm to a decent degree. Like, fuck you, NECA. God damn it. Okay, this arm does that weird rotation that the other figures do, where you can do this and then kind of rotate it around however you want. It looks like, okay. This one you can do it too, but you gotta fight it. A lot of these joints you really have to fight the joint for some reason, and I'm not sure why that is such a problem with NECA figures, but it is definitely the case here. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing, but let's look at his accessories, shall we? Alright, first and foremost, you can't forget the engineer's toolbox. It's super light. It's feels like very thin plastic. I wonder if can I open this? This seems like I should be able to open it. I wonder if I'm gonna break it attempting to open this shit. Okay, this is gonna drive me nuts because there clearly feels like these are two separate pieces of plastic, so I feel like I should be able to open this. Am I supposed to press this button? Okay, that's probably not supposed to open, but it sucks because it feels like it should be able to open. And that is totally gonna break. Yeah, so this plastic here for this clasp is stuck to this bottom one. Whether it's supposed to be or not, that's just the way it seems to be. But it's preventing me from opening up the toolkit. So really, you're just going to have it in his hand and he's never going to open it, which, whatever. Next up, we got the wrench. His typical default weapon. And last, but certainly least, because who cares about it, is his tiny little pistol. Not much to say here either. It looks like his pistol, but there also isn't a ton of detail because, well, honestly, there's not a lot of detail of this gun in the game either. Now, one thing that majorly sucks about the engineer is, unlike the other figures, he doesn't seem to come with any extra hands. So you're really stuck with this open palm, which I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do with it, and this closed one, which Looks like it can hold the toolkit or the toolbox reasonably well. But if you wanted something where he's got his gun in one hand and his oh Jesus, it just fell out. His gun in one hand and his toolkit in the other, forget it. Because as you can see here, this gun, I have to, oh no, it's still coming out. It does not stay steady in this hand whatsoever. It's gonna probably fall out the first chance that it gets. I'm not sure if it's even supposed to be in this hand. Maybe it's actually supposed to be in the other one. I'm not sure. But that really blows. I'm not sure why they didn't include an extra hand. It's more of like, that's this sort of thing for the for his gun. So that's about it. That's the engineer and the spy from NECA. I don't know what to expect for the scout and the sniper, or the medic for that matter, with his glasses. I don't know what the figures will be like. Hopefully they won't be too bad. Hammy doesn't seem to think too much of these figures. They're about 20 bucks a piece. Not thrilled with Mr. Pink Spy or Mr. almost unbendy, unwieldy engineer, but I'm trying to complete my collection, so I will probably keep buying the other ones. But I'm opening these, so you potentially don't have to. This has been the unboxing of the TF2 figures from NECA. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.